Hello. Who are you? Doesn't matter. Welcome. You're safe with me. I'll be right here, nice and close so I can speak without alerting the others. Let me tell you about Senua. Her story has already come to an end, but now it begins anew.
What's happening? It's breathing. Dead. It's breathing. He knows she's getting closer. He can feel her coming closer. She's getting closer. They're watching. They're watching.
This is a journey deep into darkness. There will be no more stories after this one.
What is she doing? Why is she doing this?
They're watching.
Why doesn't she turn coming? She's doing this for him. She wants to rescue him. He's already dead. I can feel you coming. Quiet.
Oh, how rude of me. I never told you of the others. You hear them too, right? They've been around ever since the tragedy. Well, that's not quite true. Some are old, some are new, but they've changed. I think the darkness changed them, just like it changed her.
Look around you. Can you see them? Over there. Why isn't she looking? Why aren't you looking?
He's in hell.
Look, up ahead.
In hell.
You see it too?
You promised you gave me.
Yes. It is real after all. She's finally arrived in the land of mist and fog. The place the Northmen call Hell.
Turn back. Go back. Go back.
It's not safe.
Go back.
It's not safe.
It's them. They're here.
You see that? I can see it.
Look around and you will see them. The drowned, the sick, the slain. Here they lie, rotting in the fields and rivers of hell. But the dead don't always lie still here.
You see them.
This is not a place of rest.
You can't do this. Go back. Go back.
They're going to do that to you. Can you see them? Can you see them? They're going to do that to you.
They're watching. Stop. Can you feel them watching? They're watching her. They're watching her.
You're so close to the darkness. Go back.
Can you feel it?
What is she thinking? I can tell you. She's afraid. Wouldn't you be? You'd think she would get used to it by now after so many years. But the darkness, it just builds onto itself, growing stronger, towering over her. You might try and ignore it, turn away. But it's always there, just out of sight, where you're most vulnerable. It's like it knows that just enough light is all you need to see its suffocating power.
They can feel you.
You might think she's brave to go on this journey on her own, but it isn't bravery that drives her. bravery only means something to those afraid of death. Senua's fear runs far, far deeper.
Okay, so we are going to go ahead. Okay, set to auto. That's better. So I've played just this first little bit before. I'm going to go ahead and do the same path I took the first time around, which was just fighting the illusion god first. And that's about as far as I made it before realizing that the recording was messing up on OBS. And it was dropping like 80% frames for most of it. But yeah, this is Hellblade Senua Sacrifice. And if you hear somebody talking in the background that sounds like a redneck hick, that would probably be Harley, who is now looking over his shoulder at me. But yeah, we're going to get back into this and hopefully do everything better. We're changing the difficulty setting, because last time I played it on auto, and it was kind of easy. I died once, and I trapped myself in a corner and couldn't move. But anyway, yeah, we're going to actually get into this again. Hopefully this time the recording is fine.
What is she looking at? What is she leaving behind? I know what she's thinking. I hear her thoughts. It's not too late to get into the boat and go back. No one will judge her. No one will ever know. Oh, she heard us. There's no going back.
You can't do it.
Senua pushes away a world that conspired to cause so much suffering. There's nothing to go back to, and worse to look forward to. Why don't you join us? Maybe you too have a part to play in this story.
You have to take a closer look to see.
Do not forget my story, Senua.
She needs to use her
Because your darkness comes from hell, and your fate lies there. They say the burning of a corpse will take you straight to Hellas Gate, but gods and the living.
Sorry, I probably shouldn't ram through that. You can read the subtitles down at the bottom.
Darkness is coming. It yearns
I
for
ran through that
life.
pretty quick. I
Hungers
forgot
for
that
it.
you guys have seen what that
Like
actually
a pack of
said.
wolves in a hunt.
So that's my bad.
But she's not stopping.
But it was basically just telling her how to get to where she currently is.
Can you see it?
The land of mist and fog.
He's in there.
The old fool was right.
You see it?
What was it he said? The river of knives across which lies the halls of hell. The place they call Helheim.
He's lost. He's lost. Where are you? I hear you. He's there, you know it.
There's no doubt about
He's
it.
lost.
The source of the darkness is in Helheim,
They're called
and the goddess Hela holds her dear beloved, Dillian.
For anyone who doesn't know this game, it's set in a Norse mythos, basically. I apologize for the graphics, because this is the only way while I'm recording that it'll hold frame rate, because this game is really demanding, and I don't have the old gaming computer I had. So she drops frames a little bit. So I apologize for that in advance.
The bridge to Helheim.
We're here for the story.
I forget its
Graphics
name.
are still good enough for me to be able to...
She forgets too. But she does remember that only the dead may cross it. That part wasn't so easy to forget. The old fool said there was a hidden path up to it. Let's see, shall we?
Okay, so I had to mess with some sound settings there for a second. Should be recording louder this time now. But anyway, we're going to get back into it. I just wanted to make sure you can actually hear my voice in this. Now I'm going to be having 2 audio tracks, so I can boost it when need be for my microphone. But anyway, yeah.
The Northmen speak of 9 worlds. The world of men they call Midgard. Sky gods dwell in Asgard. The gods of earth, harvest, wind, and sea dwell in Vanaheim. The good elves dwell in Alfheim. The evil ones dwell in Svartalfheim. The mountain giants dwell in Jotunheim. The fire giants dwell in Muspelheim. Niflheim is the world of ice and darkness. Only the dead dwell in Helheim, and that is where you must travel.
Okay, so I figured I'd stop and let you guys actually hear all of that. Eventually it will get to the point where I don't know what they're saying, so I'm going to be stopping as well. As long as I remember, I will stop so you guys can hear things.
Don't stop. You can't. You're in danger. Do you know where you are? Just
Where
drop
are we?
down. Down there. Why did she do that? She shouldn't have done it. She can't go back now.
No, this is it. The hidden path.
He's going to hurt you. It's dangerous.
Don't kill me. I'm not one of them.
Don't listen.
I was just hiding. I find I live longer that way. Don't listen. Let the bastards catch me again. Never! Wait. Who are you? It's just a memory.
Druth? Is that you?
From my tales of the Northmen, they call me Druth. A liar.
He's lost.
An old fool. Truth is my truth. Huh?
It's good to see you again. You kept your vow.
Guide you in this life and the next. I will tell you my stories of hell, if I may walk with you.
I like Druth. Druth
Tell
is
me
a
the
cool guy.
stories again,
He's a
old
fun
friend.
man.
I'm listening.
The runes seal the gates to hell. Focus your inner eye, and you too will see what's hidden in plain sight.
I can see one.
Hold it in your mind's eye. Find what's
So
like
this
it
right
to
here is
open
going
the
to be a
gate.
little cheap because...
It's near.
Yep.
Focus. Look towards the gate, and the gate will open.
The gate is open. Go through the gate.
Go through it. It's dangerous. Follow it.
This first little segment's going to be like this
I spent 6 years enslaved in hell, but I watched the Northmen, learnt their ways.
I know you did.
You listen? when everyone else laughed, my people paid the heavy price. Carry my stories with you, and together we will make the Northmen feel our fury.
Another voice joins us. She once tried to make them go away. Pretend they weren't real.
This is the tricky part.
What is that?
You actually have to
When we are always here.
try and do this quickly because
I guess
you
it's the
control
same
which way she
time.
leans.
You can stand on the edge. Pretend it's going to be okay.
And if you're not
But you
careful,
know
she will.
that death is near. Waiting for you to make that little slip. You can't just wish things away.
Hela, daughter of Loki. The gods feared her bloodline, bad on her mother's side, yet much worse on her father's. So, as a child, the All-Father cast her down into Helheim and gave her power over those who die of sickness, age, hardship, and self-slaughter. In all of the 9 worlds, only Hela can resurrect the dead. To Hela, your Dillion was sacrificed, and with her you must bargain.
Basically, we're on a quest to save our lover. Which I actually might here. Because I'm realizing I can run a little higher graphics setting while I'm recording it this way, because I don't have something taking up 40% CPU usage. So the graphics won't be much better. It will be better. The frames might get a little choppy.
Stay back. Look at it. You have to open it.
The gate to Helheim divides the living from the dead. Is that the face of Hela herself? The half-rotten goddess that rules over Helheim. Whatever horrors lie behind that door, she must find him. Shh. Someone's here.
You, the viewers, you did it.
Let him go. I'll give you what you
You're
want.
the cause of all of this.
I won't resist anymore. Just give him back.
Here we go. This is the part I've been waiting for. Let's get it, boy. Is that all you got? Is that all you got? You can't kill these guys. Yeah.
Remember your training.
It's weird because the ground is... looks like mud. But it moves real easy.
A vision of what's to come. Poor Senua. The darkness does not bargain. It does not reason. It is rot. And now it has taken hold. It will spread towards her head, the seat of the soul, until there is nothing left of her. All of her suffering will have been for nothing. It's just a matter of time.
Yep. So the kicker is this. Basically what that means is if you die too often, the game is over.
The hardest battles are fought in the mind. That is what Dillian taught her. With every defeat, the dark rot will grow and soon it will take her soul. But for now, at least, she still has control of her mind. And she will fulfill her vow. Whatever the cost.
He's not right.
Listen to me, Senua. The goddess Hela lies behind the gate to Helheim. To open the gate, you must first face the gods that guard it. The god of fire, Zurt, and the god of illusion, Valravan. Spill their blood to open the gate to Helheim and enter the land of the dead.
Yep.
To Dillian. To her soul.
It won't open.
How will she get through? Why won't it open?
Valravan, ancestor of the seers and master of ravens. He hunts his prey with his powers of illusion and feasts on their remains. Follow the path to Valravan and defeat him in battle to earn his mark. The gate to Helheim cannot be opened without it.
Yep. Wish her running was a little faster, but you know, there's nothing that can be done there.
Ymir was a frost giant, a being of darkness, and all his sons and grandsons were dark after him. Of his daughters and granddaughters, some were monstrous, but others fair. But there was another who came from the ice. Buri. In shape, he was like a man, big and powerful. His son, Bor, took a fair giant to be his wife, and they had 3 sons. Odin was the eldest, and the Northmen hold him to be the foremost of the gods, the All-Father.
But yeah, this game will teach you a little bit about Norse mythology.
Focus.
Illusion hides the path to Valravn. Don't trust your eyes. Find another way to see the truth.
It's a door. No, it's not. Push it. Push it. Push it. She did it. She did it. She did it. Look. Something's different. Can you see?
It's funny. We all want to see behind the veil, don't we? Once we do, we mostly just close our eyes again and pretend what we saw was never really there. Senua never could close her eyes, however hard she tried. Begged. This is the price she pays for seeing things differently. Because once you gaze into the relentless darkness, all that lurks within it can see you too.
Come on, big boy.
There are too many of them. Find strong position. You're close.
Boom.
The Northmen will not stop her. She will find what she's looking for.
Valravn's power of illusion comes from ravens. Align the ravens to break his magic seal.
Show me what you have seen, Truth.
Look how much it's changed. It's all different now.
Boom.
Something's shifted. Something's happened. Something's shifted. Can you feel it?
Do you feel it too? It's like crossing into another world that looks the same but feels different.
I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's eyeballs everywhere.
The forest
Watch.
itself is watching.
Everything has eyes. The hills have eyes. Wait, that's right, I gotta go.
Another gate.
Another gate. You know what to do. Stay back. You have to move. It's not safe to
behind the ravens with the mark of Valravan.
Which ravens? Can't you see them? She can see. Line up the ravens.
Mother, I hear something. Challenge me!
If you hear us, follow it, and it will lead you to him. But be aware of his illusions. You can't always trust your eyes.
I'm not gonna lie, this took me longer than it should have the first time around. But that's what's going on.
Fight me! Is she lost? It'll be the first time. Last winter, before the tragedy, she journeyed into the wilds of her native land, living off berries, roots, and rabbits. It's not uncommon, you see. We call such a person a Count. Some, like Truth, become Count in search of penance. Others, like Senua, to purge a curse. Those who make it back are forever changed.
This took me a lot longer last time to get through.
She can get up now. What's happening? She can get up now. How can she get up? It must be magic. Dark magic. A trick. Valravan tricking her. Valravan. How can she get up? Wait. It's him. Dark magic draws her closer. It's not him. He's helping her. It's not him. It's a trick. She's doing it on her own. He's not tricking her. It's magic. It's an illusion.
Go underneath it. Yeah, so see, the first time where those stairs are connected to absolutely nothing, they're not here. Which keeps you from getting up here. That.
We picture fear, and we think of a shadow in the woods, a creature in the night. If only it were that simple.
Yeah,
The worst kind comes without warning.
I knew better than that because last time I just skipped it completely.
Primal signal.
Didn't even
from
try to
within.
open it.
A reminder that just because you cannot see
And
the
this is the
threat,
part I died last time.
it doesn't
I
mean
trapped
that it's
myself in
not
a damn
already
corner.
here.
Find your own path. It's different. End it! End it now! It's nearly the end. Don't let them get behind you. Keep them in sight.
There we go. I'm not gonna lie, that made me jump a little bit at first. When they first started spawning in multiples.
The Northmen say that Odin and his brothers killed Ymir, and that the world of men was formed from his corpse. They made his bones into stone, and his flesh into earth, and his blood into the salt sea. They set his skull to be the bowl of the sky, with his brains for clouds. Odin and his brothers caught the sparks flying from Muspel and made them into stars. And to protect the new world from the giants, they used Ymir's great curving eyebrows as walls.
Should be getting close to the next door. If I'm not mistaken, this is one.
Do you know what it's like
Fuck
to
ton of
leave
ravens.
everything behind? Your home, loved ones, to head deep into the wilds, perhaps never to return. Senua does. Because when darkness speaks, it changes everything. Turning home into a foreign land and loved ones into strangers. Exile makes sense when you realize that you were never really home in the first place.
The song. Balravan. Balravan's song. It's over here. It's over here. Is that? It's over there. No, it's here. There's two. Listen, focus. Listen. It's an accurate. It's an emotion. This reminds her of somewhere. The forest. Where? Which forest? Forest in the wilds. The wilds. She went to the wilds a long time ago. Why did she go to the wilds? She wanted to fight her own darkness. She thought she could beat her own darkness.
Pointing
Did
the
she
way.
beat her darkness? No. It nearly killed her, but she tried. Druth helped her. If it wasn't for Druth, she'd be dead. She can't beat her own darkness. She wanted to marry Dillian. She came to beat her own darkness.
So basically, the gates change how the world works. It's just
She thought her curse would affect him. She thought her curse would spread to him.
Out in the wild,
She thought she'd bring the
gate
darkness
and
to him
cold
too.
into the woods.
takes away
She
half
nearly
of the
died.
She no longer
thought
thought
the curse made her tainted. Druth
She
helped
almost
her.
gave in to the darkness.
Wait a second. That did.
She remembered Dillian's words. She remembered her promise. She resolved to fight on
I guess it did take some away.
and kill
Okay, never mind.
that which had become a part of
Still
her.
looks like a ton. I do really like the way they did this game, though. It's a very interesting take. So I'm pretty sure that For sure. I remember that location. I think I actually... Yeah, I did this area backwards the way I did it last time, so I had to run around the entire map to get back over to that side. Because without that, you can't get over to the next gate. Giant ass gap right here. This feels really repetitive to me, but I know we've got to get through this with the important to the story. You guys don't know the things that I know.
The Northmen say you must sacrifice in order to receive. They tell how the runes were revealed to Odin only in sacrifice. He hung himself from the world tree, and he stabbed himself with a spear, and he dedicated the sacrifice to himself. For 9 nights he hung on the tree without food or drink, and at last he saw the runes below him. He gave a cry, and gathered them in his mind, and learnt them. Then he fell from the tree.
Just walk faster.
The ravens. They were gone. No. Still 3. There's 3. Where have they gone? She did it. What does it mean?
Looking back, I was so naive to think she could banish it on her own. The further she saw into the darkness, the more she struggled to see anything at all.
I could have hopped down that
And the glow.
faster.
The smallest hints of shape, sound, thought, grow in strength until they consumed her whole. Before she knew it, the darkness had her in its claws.
Broken. The gate is open. Open.
There is no such thing as victory when it comes to the darkness. It's like it doesn't want to kill her. Yet, it will gnaw at her, biding its time. Only when she is at her weakest will it strike to kill. Will she find Dillion before her time comes?
Getting here took me a lot last time. God,
Now come Valravan's final illusion to face him in his keep. I know you can do it, Senua. You have the sight.
We both see the darkness. We can fight it together.
Speak to me, Druth. Tell me a story.
Senua, listen. I will tell you the tale of a man called Findan. The Northmen captured Findan's sister, and his father sent him to pay for her release. But they took his gold, put him in chains, and held him for a day and a night without food or water. Then they released him. I don't know why. Upon his return, his father's enemies in Erin set fire to his home. His father burnt to death, and his brother was killed. But he escaped with sorrow in his heart. His father's enemies offered redress for his loss and invited him to a feast. It was at a hall near the sea. But when he went there, they betrayed him to the Northmen, who enslaved him and took him to hell. 6 years later, his slave masters landed on the shores of Orkney, burning all before them. And into that fire, Findan made his escape. What was Findan burnt away that day. But from the flames, a new man stepped forward, and Druth was born. Druth, the man that I am now.
Yep.
And though Findan never set eyes on his dear sister again, I, Druth, have found you, Senua.
I wish
makes
you could
it
have seen my home before these dark times.
Like their brother and sister. We got here a lot of answers this time.
Rook, the gate is open. Open.
This darkness. I know it from the wilds. It's coming back for me.
I'm still here. Are you too? Where are we? I remember. It didn't end well in the wilds. It never does. You think you can overcome the darkness, make sense of it, and once relief settles in, it strikes out of nowhere, throwing you helplessly back into the maelstrom, drowning the mind in fear, deeper, deeper, driving you down so far into the void that maybe this time there is no coming back. But there, in the darkness,
Senua,
she remembered what he told her.
hear me. Reach out to me. Senua, take my iron mirror. Look into it, for it is a window into the underworld. Within, you will see the face of the darkness that you fear. And if you focus, like I have taught you to, you will also see that as much as the darkness has you trapped within its veil, it too is trapped within yours. Focus. Focus! Focus!
I see you. I see you now. You led me to the wilds. You trapped me there.
And here we go.
She's ready. Ready, warrior. Remember your training. Behind you. Behind you. Behind you. Finish. Behind you. Scared. She's scared. No one. She finished. You're stronger than him. Focus now.
There we go.
I never beat you in the wilds, did I? It was an illusion. But not this time!
The Mark of Valravan, one of the keys to the gate to Helheim. Hold it in your mind's eye.
With every battle, the darkness grows stronger. Every victory bringing her closer to defeat. Unfair, isn't it? In those dark winter nights in the wilds, there were times when she considered letting go. If it weren't for Druth, a chance encounter in the wilds, she would not have heard his stories of the Northmen. And she would not have this chance to find Dillion's soul.
I'm coming. I still hear you.
Ta-da! This is where normally you'd get the achievement Master of Illusion, but I've already got it. So that brings me back right where we started.
When she was younger, she would lay in the grass and stare at the clouds. And as she saw them, elusive, shifting faces. After a while, she could see the faces everywhere. The trees, the
Might
mountains,
actually travel faster if you do this.
caves. I wonder, can you see the faces too? They're there, if you look for them.
Senua, you have the sight. Just like I do. Once you can see into the underworld, The underworld and all the souls within it will see you. Don't be afraid when they speak to you. I will always be here to guide you.
Did you see her? That was her mother, Galina. She was a priestess, a healer. She taught Senua to see the weave that binds the world together. And it was beautiful. It was a time before the darkness. But when it did come, it first came for her mother. Senua still sees her face from time to time, hidden in the world. Like she's still watching over. She misses her so much.
Yep. Not this time.
He's down! Finish it!
Finish it! Strike it!
We're winning.
There's too many of them.
Find a good position.
You let them bring you.
He's finished! Behind you!
Stop them!
Not have been hit by that,
Behind you! Behind you!
She'll never finish it.
It's nearly over!
Finish it!
did not mean to run. Sprint kills. While there are enemies.
Stop! She will die. Stop! Get up! Get up!
Come on.
It's not over! It's not over! Do this! Come on! Look behind!
You won! She's hurt. She's injured. She won't make it. Finish this!
Boom, baby.
The gate.
She needs to go back.
She can't.
It won't open. Why won't it open?
There's another challenge.
Nope.
She hasn't
Yeah,
challenged
I've synced with them, yes.
The Northmen say that in the beginning there was nothing but darkness. Bitter cold to the north, fiery hot to the south. They say the cold formed ice, which melted from the sparks from the south. The power of the darkness gave life to the dripping ice, and the first giant was born, and was named Ymir. The ice continued to drip, and the power of the void gave life to it, and it became a cow, whose milk fed the giant. That's right, a cow. But you weren't expecting that.
Interesting. Didn't actually know that. But anyway, this is as far as I made it in the first playthrough. Well, first part of the playthrough that basically had a corrupted file. So I'm going to end this spot here. And then we'll pick up again later on. So until then, bye.